All right, Steeler fans, we're going to take a look at Kenny Pickett and some of his best plays in Week 12 and reasons to be encouraged. His best performance probably of his career against the Bengals, certainly the most high-quality moments of his career, I believe, in one game. We'll look at those, and then we'll look at some areas where he still is having issues in the middle of the field, and we'll talk about those and what he can maybe do to improve those, or just why that's happening for him. I'm actually not totally sure on that, so I'm going to put out I'm going to posit some theories, but it really is pretty puzzling to me, and I'll kind of show you what I mean, and you all can kind of see it for yourself rather than probably hear me talk about it on the podcast, but I want y'all to be able to see it for yourself. But let's start with the positives first. Kenny Pickett, first throw of the game. The Steelers are trying to look to get him in the middle of the field, and that seems obvious at this point. Bengals play a decent amount of two high safeties, so you've got a lot of linebackers carrying the middle of the field. We call them pull runners, where one of these linebackers right here, 55, 57, are going to be dropping out, usually the tight end side here, where Freiermuth is. 57 will be one of the pull runners here, you'll see. But both these guys are going to get depth. The idea is they get depth and cover the middle of the field, and it's not easy stuff for them, but it's how you kind of play the middle of the field. When you are a middle of the field open defense, you need your linebackers to be able to get that kind of depth in the middle of the field. So you'll see this one unfold. You look at the play fake is the first thing to notice. The Steelers are one of the lowest play action rate teams in the league, but you'll see the play fake even from the gun where he doesn't have to turn his back to the defense. See, he's looking. He's already can see. He's watching what these linebackers are doing. Pratt has already jumped up. Wilson doesn't fall for it too much, honestly. Pratt jumps up here. You can see him about a yard ahead of Wilson. So it's not a lot, but it holds him. He jumps, and now he's in a clunky position to get into his pedal. That's one of the more underrated parts of this when you're talking about slivers of space and time. One of the more underrated parts of play action is you get a linebacker off their spot for a second, then you get them changing some of their technique, especially Pratt is pretty clunky in space, and so you get him kind of moving in a way that he's not comfortable in this back pedal. And this is just a great throw by Kenny. He's throwing, I wouldn't say it's too much of an anticipation throw because Freiermuth is coming out of his break before he releases it, but he knows where he wants to go with the football immediately. As soon as he finishes this play fake, his back foot's hitting, ball's coming out. It's right on time. Good thing because Wilson read it pretty quickly and tried to get over there. Not really necessarily his responsibility over there, but he tried to get over there and lay a hit. But Kenny throwing it on time the way that he did, Freiermuth's able to protect himself, and they're able to get a big play. So targeting the middle of the field against middle of the field open coverage, love it. Also really good to see an accurate ball from Kenny and him be aggressive. It seems like when targets are moving vertically in the middle of the field, he's more willing to take the shots. But for some reason, the underneath zone defenders, you'll see in a couple clips, a couple plays later, the underneath zone defenders seem to kind of deter him a little bit or make him hesitate for some reason when it's a horizontal moving target or a stationary target. We'll look at that later. Again, it's pretty curious to me. I'm not totally sure why. Here he is again. This is the second throw to Freiermuth. Different a little bit. This one, Logan Wilson is supposed to be the pull runner here. No play fake here. But you can see the linebackers. You could see Wilson kind of getting right into it. He knows. He's walling him off, right? He does not want Freiermuth to bend to the middle of the field. But then he is expecting this route to sit down here. I don't know if it's something he saw from tape study or I'm not sure why he does this. He taps his chest after the play. I cut it out of the clip just for speed's sake, but he taps his chest after the play to indicate that he should have flipped a little bit earlier, but he does not think they're going middle of the field here, probably because they hardly ever do on tape. Again, just an advantage of having a new OC out there. But Kenny's able to throw this ball. Again, he's not open. He throws it to a spot. That's still a nice step in the right direction for Kenny. Throwing it to a spot. Great throw. Throws him open. And then Freiermuth's able to get some yardage after the catch too. So again, middle of the field open. Pull runner doesn't get enough depth. You're able to put it right by him. Great throw by Kenny. Good job by Freiermuth also bending his route to the middle of the field, not just continuing up the seam, but bending his route to the middle of the field against middle of the field open coverage. So these sight-adjusted routes are just not really something that the Steelers have done a lot of. I don't know how many, there are people that would be smarter football people than me would probably tell you how prevalent it is. Like, this is a pretty basic sight adjustment. Middle field open, middle of the field closed coverage for a tight end. But a lot of the time, you've heard Ollie Conley and I talk about this under Matt Canada. They would have these guys wouldn't really adjust their routes based on coverage. So this would just continue up the seam maybe, or it wouldn't really adjust based on coverage. So just giving him the option to be able to read the coverage, although this is very simple and very elementary for a receiver, these are the kind of things like high school. When we called Canada's offense a high school level offense, like this is kind of what we were talking about. Like it just didn't have basic things that you need. Ollie would always say, or has always said, that there's patches of grass the Steelers receivers should be moving toward in the Matt Canada offense that they just never move toward because they're not coached to do it. And this is an example of that. Here's the space, right, in the coverage, and now Freiermuth is moving toward it. So big change with the new coaching staff as well as targeting and adjusting to the middle of the field. I said new coaching staff with the new play callers, excuse me. So good throw by Kenny again. Confidence in the middle of the field and receivers moving vertically. Okay, here we got some outside shots. This is where Kenny's at his absolute best, I think. So I kind of went from area of improvement. Now we're going to look at Kenny at his absolute best. Some of his vertical throws. This is every time he sees single high, middle of the field coverage, middle of the field closed coverage now. Okay, so single high safety, other safeties rolled up here in the box, 11 personnel it looks like. I didn't show the wide shot, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 wide receiver. And Freiermuth's over here. So it looks like, what's he see right away? He's got, he doesn't have a motion here, but he sees him rolled up here against Freiermuth. Indicator that you probably got some man coverage here. Single eye safety, another indicator. Man coverage could be coming. Cover one a lot more prevalent than too high. In too high man coverage is a lot more prevalent in cover one than it is when there's too high safeties. And so Kenny kind of be able to read this out. Yeah, he's got man coverage. You can see there, and he's obviously Pickens' body language is hilarious here. Pickens running away from coverage. He's got him as an option too. But when he's got these opportunities, just take the shot, right? Like that's what he wants to do. I think he wants to be aggressive based on how he's played in the past and just didn't feel like he could do that against Matt Canada. But he knows he's got one-on-one on the outside. Deontay Johnson and George Pickens have both consistently proven they can win one-on-one on the outside in their career. And so he puts the ball out there. It's a beautiful pass just from a pure aesthetic standpoint. He just throws a very pretty deep ball and drops it right into the bucket. It's a high quality throw. This is what what Pro Football Focus would say is a big time throw here, dropping this in the bucket. You can see Johnson, great catch too. He actually catches the defensive back's arm and the ball on this play. So really impressive play. Also watch George Pickens' body language coming across the field. Why the heck didn't I get the football? I'm wide open. I could have caught and run this. This was an easy read. You should have given me the ball. Oh, yes, we got it. Let's go. He's like that on lots of plays. Pretty good stuff. This is not a deep shot. I put the plays out of order. I apologize. The second deep shot is coming in a second. But I wanted to include this play because this is another area. Kenny, very confident playing outside the numbers, right? When throws are outside the numbers, he just feels like he can be safe with the football and aggressive with the football because there isn't any looming threats coming down on the ball. It's a totally different game for him in between the numbers right now than it is outside. He feels pretty confident on these throws. They're not always super accurate, but this one was really accurate in a third down situation where he absolutely had to have it. He made a great throw here, so I'll let the play run. I should have let some of these run and strike to Freiermuth. Okay, so we'll go back and check this one out. So you've got kind of a stack release here. So the idea is to get Freiermuth into his pattern clean and give him some space. George Pickens does a really good job on this play of pushing vertically, getting right into that corner space. See him extend the arms there. So the cornerback's already hand fighting with him. He's condensing that space, looking right body to body with that corner. He's running him right into the path of number 23 here, Dax Hill. So he's running him into the path of the safety just enough, right, to create that rub and Freiermuth breaking. Just good job by these two. Attention to detail, something that I'm not saying all this is fixed and all of this, this play never could have happened if Matt Canada wasn't there. I'm not saying that, but really good attention to detail, what didn't really exist under Canada. And Pickens is moving vertically here to open this up for Freiermuth. This ball has to come out on time, though, because there isn't a lot of space here, and this player is more athletic than Freiermuth is. And so he's going to close this space. So the ball basically has to come out, and you can see it. As Freiermuth's breaking, the ball is coming out, right? Kenny Pickett has begun his throwing motion, and the window's closing, and he laces the ball into coverage there, and Freiermuth makes a heck of a catch. But if he throws this any later, it's probably getting broke up. In fact, I think this is another one where Freiermuth catches the arm of the DB. You can see him kind of swing around there. The hand is in there when he throws that ball. And so a great throw, a great strike, but it's the timing of the concept and the execution of it too. This is good execution by the receivers, good execution from a stack. Kenny knows where he wants to go from the football. He doesn't hesitate. He lets the ball rip. Even though it's going to be a tight window, he's not deterred by that. That is consistently how he plays outside the numbers. Totally different game for him inside the numbers, as we'll talk about in a second. Here he is. Again, this is a second deep shot I want to show you. This one's a slot fade to George Pickens. So inside, outside release for the receiver. He wants to put this ball out toward the sideline when he throws this ball. And so it's a little bit more touch, but accuracy really matters here too, because you want to make sure you keep it away from a safety. If a safety is going to be in the picture, you want to make sure you put it toward the sideline where your receiver can kind of run under it, and the DB is going to be hopefully on his inside hip at that point in time. So I'll let the play run here. Yeah, great throw. Okay, so one of the things you're going to notice, again, man coverage. I forget, actually, if he had a motion. That's my bad. I should have made a note of that. If he had a motion, indicate man coverage, or if just the way the corners are rolled up, he believes it's man coverage. But again, you've got man coverage here. Deontay Johnson's trying to go on this little reverse pivot route. And then what you have is Pickens down here. He just stacks the DB and Mike Hilton, so he knows he's got the size advantage. Calvin Austin literally does this like on every big play. But George Pickens, you got him on this inside-outside release and drops the ball in the absolute bucket. I mean, right over the shoulder, just right in the bucket. It just doesn't get prettier than that. It's beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous throw. And that's the thing. Pickens and Johnson are both elite ball trackers. Johnson, for all his foibles, like, is a great ball tracker. Obviously, Pickens might be one of the best ball tracker finishers in the league. So these are just kind of plays that, although technically you would say they're not that high percentage plays based on like the what they are across the NFL, for the Steelers, they have two guys who thrive in this way. And so you need to be able to use them in this way and just throw to their strengths. He tried to hit Pickens on a vertical ball earlier, kind of went off his hands of a diving play by Pickens, and there was illegal contact on that play that wasn't called also. So don't be deterred by the result. Come back to it. Stay aggressive down the field. He is an unbelievable success rate throwing to George Pickens down the field on these routes. So you can see when it's outside the numbers, when he knows he's got those one-on-one matchups, when it's man coverage, all of those things are comforts for Kenny Pickett right now. He loves man coverage. He loves throwing outside the numbers. He loves throwing vertical balls. He loves throwing any type of concept where he doesn't have to read the whole field and he can just, like we saw in the Freiermuth catch, like he knows it's a stacked release. He knows where he's going with the football. The players just have to execute. He can make a good, accurate throw outside the numbers in those regards. When it comes to the middle of the field stuff, it is a different story for him, as we're about to see. But this is just really pretty stuff. I mean, from the far hash to drop this in the bucket going away from you, it's just a big-time throw. But I think he can make those throws, and that is where you have hope with Kenny Pickett, is that he can make high-degree difficulty throws down the field, touch throws down the field. That's what gives you hope. Now, what gives you concern, you really can't be a high-end starting NFL quarterback if you can't play in the middle of the field. You have to be able to throw the ball in the middle of the field against zone coverage into windows with anticipation, or you're just going to end up holding the ball too long, taking sacks, or you're going to end up checking down to the flats all the time. And right now, he's holding the ball too long. He's taking sacks. He's getting out of the pocket when he shouldn't because he's not comfortable throwing in the middle of the field against zone defenses. And he's putting the ball in the flat super often. He's just saying, hey, I'll just chuck it in the flat. And guess what? In zone defenses, the flats are covered. And man, they are too. But in zone defenses, the flats are covered. So a lot of the time, he's putting Jaylen Warren in a really hard situation. Jaylen Warren is one of the lowest average depth of targets of any player in the league this year. He's catching the ball all the time behind the line of scrimmage where he should be like a control option. Like basically he controls a defender and keeps him in a space and not really an option in the passing game unless they're absolutely necessary. That's what should be happening on a lot of these plays. But instead, Kenny Pickett is using him way more often and way quicker than he should. And you're going to see a couple examples of this. I went back to the Rams game because this is the first time that I saw it. People will recognize this play. It's a very similar play to the one that happened against the Browns that went viral, I think, where none of these three guys block, and he throws to Warren, and everybody comes up and tackles Warren. It looks like a disaster. Well, it's because he shouldn't throw that ball if these guys aren't blocking in that concept. Like he needs to be looking for something in the route patterns that happen down here. This is the flare control player here. So watch what he does here. They're bluffing this, right? He's not going to throw here right away. This guy jumps it, okay? The Rams messed the coverage up completely. These guys both go to the flat. This is wide open in the middle of the field, right? He's releasing vertically here, so the safety's going to take care of this vertical, right? The safety's lost. He's like, hold on a second. This guy's open and this guy's going to be open. I can't let the vertical shot happen. So safety gets over here. Hayward's wide open in the middle of the field. They recognize there's a bust, but it's too late. They've busted already. Now, where does Kenny Pickett go with the football? This is wide open in the middle of the field. He should be reading this out, right? He's looking right here. He's faking here. He sees the defender get out. He's looking here. He sees these guys flowing over. He's got the read. He's coming right here. He sees Hayward wide open in the middle of the field. Watch him. Still looking at him. Still looking at him. Still looking at him. All of a sudden, he looks over and he throws to Warren out in the flat. Why would he do this? Look where Hayward is. As Hayward's breaking and settling down, wide open in the middle of the field. This is going to be a completion for a first down. Unless Hayward drops it. And he might have space to, if Kenny puts it on him on time and reads it and, oh, these guys are both getting out here. I've got wide open middle of the field. Boom. If he puts it on him right here, it's over. And he's looking right at him. So he sees it. He sees them blow the coverage, and he still doesn't throw the ball. I can't understand this one. I actually asked Mark Schofield, one of the best quarterback minds that I know. I said, can you just tell me what his process is on this play? Like, why isn't he throwing the ball? And Mark said, I have no idea. Like, he definitely should throw the ball there. And I was like, okay, so I'm not tripping. Like, this is odd stuff that he wouldn't be throwing the ball in this situation. And Mark said, maybe he thinks this guy can get there, but the distance is just crazy. He's like, if he puts it on him, it's a completion right there. And so he's got to do this. Instead, he makes a throw to a guy that they actually blew the coverage toward. Remember, 2 guys go to the flat here. And this guy who was supposed to be going vertical, who got fooled by the bluff, is also kind of in this area, like still here. And this guy, he kind of retreats and realizes, oh, I busted, somebody needs to go here. So they end up having multiple guys to cover this option. And Warren actually, he tries to make it work, but too many guys there to tackle him. And so he gets tackled short of the first down on second down when they could have a first down. And so just a bad decision where to go with the football. Warren making the catch, gets something out of it, but it's just, you can't go there with the football on that play, especially when the guy's wide open within the primary concept that you're looking at. Guys wide open right there. You have to let the ball go. And so that's just an example, some of the discomfort that he sees on some of these plays. Pretty similar progression here, different play completely, but pretty similar progression as well. This one's actually a little better covered and still wide open. This is on third down, so this one hurt. This resulted in a punt, I believe. This was the first drive of the game, I think, against the Bengals. This one ends up being a punt, even though they probably should have gone for it because Hayward makes a great effort here. Kenny just misses the read. Watch Freiermuth. Okay, he's wide open, right? Kenny's looking at him. He's wide open, middle of the field. Now, yes, there's defenders around him. He may close over his back here, make this a tough catch. But Freiermuth is at the sticks. If you deliver this ball as he's starting, if you see, so you know this is your flare control here. His job is to widen this linebacker. This linebacker is already moving off the hash, so you know you're going to have space there in the middle of the field. Yes, the safety's sitting low, but you can see him in his pedal, so you can take all this in. His eyes are looking right here, middle of the field. These are the defenders he wants to be keying on. Is this guy buzzing down? No, he's not. He's in a pedal. Is this guy widening as he should be here? Yes. Is this guy widening? Yes. So you know where your space is going to be, right? He's looking right at it. If he throws the ball now and it's on its way, it'll arrive to Freiermuth right here. He'll make a catch. He'll get the first down. He may be hit as he catches it, whatever, but he will get the first down. You'll move the chains here. You'll stay on the field. Instead, he opts for the check down. He doesn't feel comfortable. You could see him. He double pumps, right? He pumps here looking at Freiermuth. He won't throw it. Hesitates too long, doesn't make up his mind up, then he just chucks it in the flat. Hayward makes a great effort to try and get what he can and get close to the marker, but it's just a bad read. If Cincinnati's guys don't just decide this is how they want to play defense, just getting here and stopping your feet, look at this. This is ridiculous. Never do this. Run through a target, especially in a run and catch situation where you're protecting the sticks. You got to assume you're going to get knocked back a yard on the tackle, and the guy's going to be able to fall forward. You can't stop your feet like that. It's just, if you miss the tackle, great. Everybody else is flying in from behind you, and you slow the guy down or made him cut laterally. You're going to be fine. Only thing you can't do in this situation is stop your feet like that. It's terrible. But anyway, Hayward almost gets it and almost gets to the marker. Instead, Tomlin, of course, didn't go for it on 4th and short. But yeah, these are the kind of plays. These are the kind of plays that if you can make these throws, as well as the high degree of difficulty, this isn't a hard throw, right? It's a pretty easy read, and it's actually a pretty routine throw. You have to throw it hard and on time, but other than that, it doesn't take much to be accurate on this throw. But he can't do it. Clean pocket, and he just doesn't do it. Chucks it in the flat. One more from this game. This one is a little bit more. I actually don't totally know where his progression is on this play, but I don't think that saves him here. Play action. They're pulling the guard. Very similar concept to the first play of the game, the pass to Freiermuth. This one, you're going to have different route progressions, though. He's getting a good chip here to help out the pulling guard. This ball is supposed to come out. He's looking right here, middle of the field. You've got the pull runner, right? This guy's taking him vertical. Okay, so he drops out, so you don't have the middle of the field down here. Even though you've got two high safeties, he's closing the middle of the field here. You're seeing, okay, you can't get that ball in. He's got clean pocket again. All right, just go right here. Right here. Second down, there's the sticks. You got a guy wide open. His back's turned. You were just looking there to see what he was doing. You were watching his body language. He's the player you're reading, seeing it happen. Okay, these guys are widening as they should be, right? Flare control again. He's widening the linebacker. He's widening over here with him. You got wide open right here, middle of the field, right? Put the ball on him. Tom Brady made a career of doing this, making these smart decisions, not just these throws. But again, easy throw, easy read. Put the ball on him. Keep moving the sticks instead. Throw on the flat. Don't get anything. That basic quarterbacking stuff was the difference between hitting splash plays, looking good once in a while, and being a consistent, every down quarterback who can keep their offense moving no matter the situation, no matter the game, no matter the time, everything. You can make those simple throws and make throws in the middle of the field with timing, anticipation, and accuracy. You're going to be successful because he's got the ability to throw outside the numbers. I think he's going to be aggressive enough to hit these vertical balls now that Canada's out of the paint. He's got to make the routine stuff happen in the middle of the field. You can't be a good quarterback in today's NFL unless you can throw the ball to the middle of the field. Timing, accuracy, anticipation, recognizing coverages quickly, and making decisions quickly. He just hasn't shown that he's willing to do that yet. Now, when receivers are moving vertically against zone coverage, he seems to be more comfortable so far based on the small sample size of plays we have doing that. So we'll see if those shots to Freiermuth are outliers or not. But something to keep watching for in Kenny Pickett's game is just whether he's going to make these decisions when the throw's right there, these easy calls, or if he's going to keep checking down in the flat to guys who are covered. Because right now he's putting a lot of his guys in harm's way by making those decisions, or in just really difficult situations by making those decisions, and he's passing up opportunities to move the chains. There's 3 opportunities to move the chains there for his team. Yeah, 2 of them were on second down, 1 was third. But hey, if you can get a first down on second down, it's such a huge win. And he's just missing those opportunities to do the easy things for his team right now. If he can find that, we might have something. We might have something here because he is exciting with some of these deep balls. I hope they keep doing it. Could have opportunities against Arizona. They don't give up a lot of big plays, but they definitely have corners that can be beaten on the outside. So I'm excited for him to keep doing that kind of stuff. But it's the little stuff like this that separate quarterbacks, the good quarterbacks from the great quarterbacks, because great ones just can keep the ball moving at all times no matter what the coverage of the situation. And that's where Kenny Pickett is just falling short right now. So good stuff and stuff to get excited about. Plenty to work on as well. If you like this video, make sure you hit like on it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to the channel. You can get videos whenever we go live. I apologize, I haven't gotten a lot of content out recently. I travel for my job a lot in the middle of the season, so it's everything I can do just to put out podcasts in the middle of the season. But the next month or so, I'm home. We obviously have the holidays, but I'm going to try to get out some more videos for you at least once a week of breaking down some content for you guys so you can kind of see some of the stuff I'm talking about on the podcast, have a visual element to it as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns. If you drop comments on the video, I will try to come in here and answer them at some point this weekend. So just let you know that, and share the love. If you like the video, send it to people you know. If you think they'll like it, send it to them, and hopefully we can get this thing building toward 1,000 subscribers. That'd be fun. Thanks, y'all.